Okay, hello. This is a Trial by Stone. Um, so tonight I watched Nosferatu the Vampyre for the first time. The one directed by Werner Herzog from 1979. I really dug it. I have a really complicated history with vampires, and like I said before, I really, really love horror. However, I was not a fan of vampires before. I really didn't wasn't really a fan. I was much more into werewolves. Um, I really grew up with the whole Twilight craze. My mom was really, really huge in them. She read all the books. And my girlfriend, my last girlfriend, was really, really into them, and she made me sit down and watch all the movies back to back to back to back. And God, that was awful. But anyway, um, yeah. So I wasn't really a big fan of vampires, but um, I still like appreciated them, I guess. Like I understood their significance, and I still do, and they are very significant, especially the horror like culture. Um, so moving on, I I don't know why, but one night I was just perusing Netflix, and um, Castlevania dropped. It was the first season of Castlevania, and um, I just thought it. I was like mildly interested, and I was just getting into anime for the first time, and I know everyone like can debate if like Castlevania is like actually an anime. It was made by an American studio. It wasn't made in Japan. Doesn't matter. I don't care. It's as much of an anime as Avatar: The Last Airbender is. Anywho, um, I watched the first episode and was immediately hooked, and since then, I really fell in love with vampires. So, um, so yeah, I'm a really big fan of Castlevania. I would love to review that at some point. But moving on from that, um, I then ended up really just going deeper and deeper into vampire film. I guess I didn't really watch the Dracula TV show. It looked kind of really stupid to me. So, and I heard mixed things about it, so I just didn't. I was like, yeah, I'm just gonna pass. And my family thought it was kind of but anywho, I for Christmas I got the Universal 30 film classic monster collection, and I watched the original Dracula with who is it? Boris Karloff, I think. It's not Boris Karloff. It's crap. Let me look this up real fast because I have a computer here, and I will feel stupid if I don't know this. Um, Dracula movie. It is. Um, oh boy. Bela Lugosi. I feel horrible for not knowing that. I am ashamed of myself. I should have known that. Anywho, I watched the original Bela Lugosi Dracula, and I really, really liked it. And I then ended up watching like the first five of the Universal horror movies: Dracula, Invisible Man, The Mummy, Frankenstein, and Bride of Frankenstein. Love them all. They're all great. Um, but I really, really like Dracula, and I I also watched The Lost Boys. I already saw it before, and I already really liked The Lost Boys, but that was before I was like really into vampires, and loved it again. And then I watched Bram Stoker's Dracula, and I wasn't really a fan of it the first time I watched it too. But that time I really, really fell in love with it. I still think Winona Ryder is super dumb, and I think I like her in some things. I like her in Stranger Things, and she's awesome in Beetlejuice. Um, but her role in Bram Stoker's Dracula is not great. Same with Keanu Reeves. He's his accent. Mm. However, awesome things about that movie. Practical effects, great. I'm a big sucker for awesome practical effects. My favorite horror movie ever is The Thing. John Carpenter's The Thing, not the remake. I started it and I was like, eh. But yeah, I love The Thing. So seeing those, I believe it was Stan Winston, if I'm not mistaken, um, who did the special effects for Bram Stoker's Dracula. I believe it was Stan Winston. Special effects. Okay, I can't find it. Never mind. It may have been Stan Winston. I'm probably wrong, and I'm probably gonna get called out for it. If anybody watches this video, I hope somebody does, because yeah. But anyway, yeah, I really love Bram Stoker's Dracula, and anywho, I have now found my way to Nosferatu the Vampyre by Werner Herzog. I am a big fan of the channel Cinefix. They've really given me so many movie suggestions. Oh my god, they're amazing. And I saw I saw them talk about Werner Herzog's Nosferatu and how it's like a remake, and I thought that was going to be really interesting to watch. So it's on Prime, so I checked it out, and I really loved it. It's probably my favorite Dracula movie. Like, Dracula movie, not necessarily the vampire movie. I think my favorite vampire movie is probably What We Do in the Shadows. I really, really love it. Taika Waititi is a god. But yeah, Nosferatu the Vampire. As some things I liked, I took notes. Really love the use of real locations and on-location shooting that really enhances the movie and really gets me, really can get you into it. The use of real bats and rats is really cool. They look, especially the rats, dude. Ugh. Klaus Kinski's performance is just fantastic. He is so awesome as Nosferatu, as well as Isabella Adjani as Lucy Harker and Bruno Ganz as Jonathan Harker. They were both really cool. Specifically Lucy, she was really subtle, and I really, really, she was very pretty. She was really cool. I really, really liked Lucy, which really stood out to me because I've always been a fan of, if it's going to be between Lucy or Mina, I really like Mina, but Mina really didn't do much for me for this. But anyway, Roland Tapor as Renfield rules. Renfield he's got to be like my favorite side character other than like Van Helsing for Dracula. I love Renfield in Bela Lugosi's Dracula. He's such a cool character. He's so freaky. His laugh is just, it's unnerving. And Walter Ladengast as Van Helsing was really, really cool too. A different take on him. Different than I will edit this out. God, I feel awful. What is his name? It's gonna kill me. Give me 1 second. Anthony Hopkins. Anthony Hopkins as Van Helsing. I really, really love he's my favorite version of Van Helsing in a movie. Anywho, moving on because I want to keep these videos kind of short. But yeah, I love the gothic atmosphere. This movie oozes with atmosphere like all the time. There's also a really great shot that reminded me of the scene in Halloween when Michael is he's like barely coming through the darkness and you just barely see his face. There's a shot in Nosferatu that really reminded me of that. It's really cool. Spoilers, by the way, I guess, yeah, for a movie that came out in 1979. But anyway, the scene, I thought it was really cool that the ship captain tied himself to the steering wheel of the boat. That was really cool. It was just a cool thing. The last time I saw that in a film was Master and Commander, which I watched that just recently, and I really, really liked it. But yeah, the fact that Nosferatu he was carrying his coffin around a bunch, which was, I just thought was really cool. And him wandering through the graveyards is pretty cool. Just, again, just atmosphere. It's just, oh man. The score was very interesting. Really caught me off guard. It reminded me of A Company of Wolves. That's an older '80s werewolf movie that I really love, and I think it does not get enough praise. Got one of my favorite werewolf transformations. It's very different, but it's really cool. But anyway, the score really reminded me of that. It also really gave me like huge, big Hereditary vibes. Like specifically the scene in Hereditary when the main kid goes up into the treehouse and the music really swells and it's very different. It really reminded me of that. The shots of different like reflections in the water was really cool, and his shadow moving across the buildings, it really echoed those very famous shots from the original Nosferatu from 1922, with the very much very expressionistic feel to those shots. It was really cool. Herzog's directing was awesome. I think it was my first Herzog movie, which was really cool, and I think it was a pretty good first. The shots of him filming through the glass was pretty cool, and from distances, the camera was very dynamic. It wasn't very static. It moved a lot. It was very cool. Nosferatu's rude entrance when the door, Lucy was like checking out her throat, which was, I thought it was cool how everyone was just obsessed with their throats because, you know, but Nosferatu opened the door and you just see his shadow, and it's just really cool. And then he's like, "I'm sorry for my rude entrance," or something. It was really cool. It was a cool scene. I really dug it. There's a speech where they compared themselves, where Lucy was like, "We are all Earth," and going back to Earth, and they're just back and forth, Nosferatu's and Lucy's. I think it was during that scene. It may have been a little later, but I was trying to find the exact quote, but I couldn't really. And anywho, yeah, it was a really good speech, along with the line of "Abandon all hope, ye who doth approach." I believe that was also used in something else more recently, but yeah, I just thought it was really cool. Also, I cannot forget Klaus Kinski's makeup. Oh my god, he looks so awesome, especially him when he's wearing the black garb. It's just so cool. Oh my god, I love it. I like the inferring, or I kind of put together in my head, because vampires can transform and stuff. They can shapeshift sometimes. I believe in Bram Stoker's Dracula, he turns into like a pile of rats or something. And I think they were inferring that as well in Nosferatu the Vampire, that he turned into a bunch of rats and he basically transmitted the plague to the boat captain, and the boat captain died. I thought that was really cool, and the association with the plague, that was a really cool just tie into real world events. But yeah, overall, I really, really dug the movie. I really, really liked it. I'm excited to watch it again. I'm probably going to buy, I think it's Scream Factory, who put out a Blu-ray of it. Yeah, I'm very excited to watch it again. So, this is my first review, Nosferatu the Vampire. I really, really dug it. I'm excited to hear other people's thoughts of my thoughts. If people have any, I would love to just start a discussion about this movie again, because I feel it's very underrated. Yeah, Nosferatu the Vampire. Anyway, bye-bye. I will see you in the next video.